where we stopped last. And I want to believe that most of us here joined the call last week. So we are picking it up from where we stopped last week. So today, one of the things we'll be doing today is we'll be learning how to write functions in PHP. So, and after that, I will definitely move us into Laravel. Laravel is a PHP framework. So, and the last I checked is still the number one PHP framework that we have. So there are a lot of things that we would learn in Laravel and why it is important to also use it. There are also other PHP frameworks. Laravel is not the only PHP framework, but it's the best, at least that I can recommend. So you're welcome once again. Let me share my screen so that we can kickstart, because I don't want us to waste time today, and definitely I believe that we also have a lot of things to do with our time. So let's pick it up from here. So let me know when you can see my screen, please. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
I can't hear anyone. If you can see my screen, please
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can see the screen, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much. So before we delve into writing code, let me explain the concept of functions. Let me explain the concept of functions for us to understand. Because one of the things I've learned about programming is that you might know how to write something, but if you do not understand the reason behind them, there will be a point where you will need that thing and you will know that, okay, this is the step I should apply to solve this problem. So functions are not only written in PHP. Let us have that one at the back of our mind. As long as you're a programmer and you're writing any language, even if it's Python, Golang, any language, you will definitely make use of function. So please don't limit yourself to PHP now when we are talking about function. Is widely used everywhere in programming. So I will tell us reasons for functions. So functions are codes. They're also codes that we write that we use to break down repetitive tasks. I will explain myself again. They are codes that we write to break down repetitive tasks. I call them repetitive tasks. For example, let me give you something that we can all relate to. I want to believe that most of us, we have our 9 to 5 job, right? And in our 9 to 5 job, we have something that we do every day. We do those things every day in our 9 to 5 jobs. Those things that we do every day in our 9 to 5 jobs, instead of us taking efforts to keep doing them every day, each and every day, to keep doing them again, we can just put them into a function. So which means that by the time we need them on that day, we just call that function that we have already written, and that's it. Instead of us to keep the pain of rewriting them each time that we need them, we just have to write a function for them. So that's why I call them repetitive tasks. For example, let's think of anything that we do repeat in every day of our life. That thing that we do repeat in every day of our life, we can just put it into function. So which means that when next you need to do it, instead of you to repeat it again, you just call that function, and that's it. I don't know if that explanation makes sense. Is that fine?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Please, if you don't understand that explanation, please let me know before we. You said what? Olaide?
I said it's fine. We understand. I understand, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let's start. Let me. How many of you can see my code editor? Sorry, I'm not using Visual Studio. So this is what I like, but Visual Studio is also fine. You can make use of it. So let me just write a simple function. I'm coming. Let's write a function. Let me just hide this on. Let's write a function that will display our name. So that's just what we want to do. It's simple function. Let's write a simple function that will display our name. So in PHP, if you want to write a function, you start with this keyword, function, then space, and you give it a name. All your functions in PHP, well, not all, but most cases, don't let me say all, most cases, your function in PHP should have a name. So let me just put it as display name. So let me put it as display name. So I will also tell us some things here. Before I go too far, let me also tell us something about function. When you are writing function, one of the rules of writing function is that your function name should be something descriptive so that you don't need to come and be explaining yourself every time to people that want to read your code. It's very important. I've seen a lot of code bases. I've seen people write functions and they give it funny names. And you have to reach out to the programmer that, okay, come here. What's the meaning of this one before you can understand what they write? You understand? So please, one of the things we should understand, we should keep at the back of our mind is that when we are writing functions, number one, let the name of the function be descriptive. People do not need to know you from anywhere before they can read your code and understand it. It's very, very important. That's the first thing. The number two thing is that when you are writing a function, there are different patterns in naming functions. Some people, let me give another example. This is the first example. Let me write another function. Display name. This function and this function, yes, because it's my code editor, it's seeing it as the same thing, but also in terms of naming, they are not. This, my function starts with capital letter, while this one starts with small letter. They are not the same. Also, let me also give us another example. Function display underscore name. This is also another way of writing function name. Some people use underscore to join words together. There's no problem there. But I prefer this. Not because this one will not work. This one also will also work. But to me, I prefer this because it's simple and it's understandable to me. That's just me. But some people also write it like they prefer it like this. This is a snake case naming. Why some people they prefer camel case. We call this type of naming camel case in programming. Why this is called snake case. I think we should understand the reason why this is called snake case is because of the underscore that we have there. So anyone that rocks our boat is fine. So another thing I would like to tell us about function is that in all programming languages, just like PHP that we are majoring on, we have two types of functions. Two types of function. Let me write it down. There are two types of functions. The first one is user-defined functions. And the second one are inbuilt functions. So I will explain this. User-defined functions are functions that you yourself you wrote yourself. You are the one that decides to write that function yourself, maybe to solve a particular need in your code base. So you are the author of that code. So that type of function is called user-defined function. Now, inbuilt functions, they are functions that by default, they came with your programming language. PHP has thousands of inbuilt functions. For example, let me give you an example of inbuilt functions that we have in PHP. String to lower. This string to lower is a function in PHP. I'm not the one that wrote this one. So it came with PHP. So this string to lower function, what it does is that any text that you pass inside the function, it will definitely convert that text to lowercase. So that's why it is called, that is why they named it string to lower. Look at how they named it. The first letter is small letter. I don't know, maybe you understand me. So this type of function is is an inbuilt function in PHP. And not only do we have string to lower, let me also give us another example. We have string to upper. We also have string to upper function in PHP. Let me pass in the text here. Let me just say, my name is Shegun Ige. So for the string to upper, let me just say, we are treating functions in PHP today. It's just an example. So now, for me to see the output of this, okay, let me just run it first. Let's see what it will display. Let me comment this. So let's see what it will display. Can you see my screen? My screen is blank. Nothing is showing here. My screen is blank. Nothing is showing here. So now let me go back to my code base. Now, for me to display this output, I'll make use of a function. It's an inbuilt function in PHP, so it's called echo. What is the work of echo? I'll explain to us. What echo does in PHP is that what it prints out results so that you can see them on your terminal. It prints out results. So now let me run the code again to see. Let's see what will be displayed. Can you see? This is the work of the string to lower, while this one is the work of the what string to upper. You can see for the string to upper, everything you are seeing there are in caps letter. While for the string to lower, they are all in what small letters. Now I'm coming. Because both of them appeared on the same line. So let me break them. I'm coming. I'm coming. Yeah. So let me just join them together as one word. Let's see. Now you can see now I've been able to let this text appear on different lines. So what I use there is just an HTML tag to break those texts so that they can appear on different lines. I don't know if you understand what I've said so far or not. If you have any question for me here, let me answer them before we go too far. Any question here? If you have any question, please or unmute yourself and ask the question now before we go too far. Okay, I'll take that as no. Okay, so now I've been able to show us a little example of inbuilt function in PHP. Like I said, there are thousands of inbuilt functions in PHP. So don't let us limit ourselves to this. This is just to show us an example. And also, let me show you something. If you want to know more about functions, the function you called in PHP, one of the things you can do is that you can just highlight on the function here. For some editors, just like VS Code, it will show you the function definition. This, what you are seeing here, is what I called function definition. This is the definition of the function. So you can read more about the function, what the function does, and what is the expected output of the function. For example, for this function now, what it does is what it expects is that it's expecting to take in an argument of string, and the output will also be a what? Will also be a string. So that's the work of that function. Now, my name is Shegun Ige. Is a text. And last week we talked about data type and we spoke about string. My name is Shegun Ige is a string. And how do you know that it is a string? Anything inside double what's called double column here or what's called inside this is a string in PHP. Anything you put in here is a string in PHP. So this text here is a string because it's inside this two, what's it called, parentheses here. So that's why it's a string. Also, you should have asked me a question here that you are seeing dots. What is the meaning? What is the usefulness of these dots? But nobody asked me, but I will explain. A dot in PHP is used to concatenate two or more words together. When you want to join two or more words together, you make use of a dot. For example, let me give us an example. Echo testing concatenation. So that's my first text. The second text is that this is my second text. Now let me comment this one so that we can see clearly. Let's run this code to see what we will have. You can see that these two texts, they are on the same line. But now let me do something here. I'm coming. Let me do something here. Let me put in a space here, and also let me remove this echo. Let me join them here like this. This is the beginning of my second text. Let's see how it will display. And you see testing concatenation. This is the beginning of my second text. Now, some people, instead of using dots in PHP, there's also an inbuilt function for that. Let's try it. I'm coming. String. Coming. String join. Let me use this one. I also use a string function to join the words together. I've forgotten the function name. Let me look for it. This one is to compare. So you can see these are inbuilt functions in PHP. So we have thousands, just like I said. So you can just take your time to check them out one by one. You make use of them as the needs demands. I'm coming. Okay, I can't find it here. Okay, let me use string length. Let me check the length of my string. Let me use string length for what was it called? Hello world. Let me use string length hello world. So this string length, what is the function of string length? Let's see. So as you can see, the string length accepts an input, it accepts an argument of a string, and it returns an integer. So what string length does is that what? It returns the length of a string. So let's see our output. Let me comment this. So it returns the length of the string that you pass inside it. That's the function of string length. So let's do well to check out the inbuilt function, but let's quickly move. Let's go to user-defined function. Let me just write a simple function to perform an addition, to perform an addition operation. So let me assume I want to add two numbers together. So what I just want to do is that I want to add two numbers together, and this is how I perform my addition. So let me explain this code for us to understand. So this is the function name. The function name is addition, and anything inside this bracket is called arguments. Some people call it input, but we call it argument. It's still the same thing. And what it means is that anything you define inside this function, inside this bracket here, you are going to make use of it within this curly braces. This this variable b that we declared here, you can't come outside here and be calling it. No. This variable b that's been defined here must be used within these two curly braces, because it only has its it only has its relevance inside these curly braces. Anything outside that curly braces, it won't work. That's one of the things we should take note. So now, what I now wrote here is that what I said, the first argument here, which is a, I'm adding it with the what, with the second argument, and then I did something like this called return. Returns means that what, and what I've done, the operation I've performed inside this function, I want it to what, I want it to be returned anywhere I want to call it. Now, another thing we should notice is that whenever we write a function will never run itself until it is being called. If you do not call a function, the function will just be there like a dummy. It won't perform anything until you what? Until you call that function. So how do we call function? It's just like what I've been showing us the other time. And just do something like this: echo addition. You can see my function is already out. So then you can see, my what's called, my ID has already given me a type hint of what the function is expecting. So let me just put in 2,3. So now, with this is how to call a function. You can see this is how to call a function. You can see that it was after I called this function that this function name here become become visible. Let me comment it out. You will see how it will look like. Can you see? Can you see it now? But now, after calling this function now, it came out. It became visible because I've been able to call it somewhere. Now let's run it here to see our output. My output is 5. So which means that what I've been able to write a function, a simple function to add two numbers together. But let me also show us some things that we need to know. Let me remove this echo. Let me just call this the function like this, addition. Let's see how it's going to be displayed. You can see that nothing is being shown here, right? It's because that echo is very, very important. I didn't put it there. Echo, like I said the other time, echo is used to print out results. But let's use var dump also. Let's see how it's going to display. Because I remember that last week we were being taught var dump. So let's see how var dump is going to react to it. You can see var dump. What var dump does is that what it returns the data type of the output and also the value of the output. It's showing me here that the data type of this output is an integer, and the output is what? Is 5. Let's compare it with echo. I'm coming. Let's compare it with echo. Echo addition. Let me just put 3, 4 here. Let's see the difference. No, let me break it. Sorry. So that's I'm coming. So done. Let me correct this. So this echo here will definitely display 7, while the var dump will display what's called the data type and the value. So let's note the difference. var dump is also good. We make use of var dump a lot, and also echo. So let's know when to use var dump and when we want to use echo. It's very important. Also, I will give us something. Let me add to this function here. I'm coming. I'm coming. Okay. I don't want to go to this PHP version. No problem. Let's write another function, another simple function anyway. I'm coming. And somebody give me an example of something to write as a function. Hello?
Display name.
To display name, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, no problem. So if we want to write a simple function to display a name, what do you think we should have as an argument there?
Maybe first name. We can call it the first name and last name, something like that.
Okay, so let's give it a name of display name. So the argument should be what?
First name, last name.
First name, okay, last name. Okay, so now, don't mind me. I have this is my ID. It's always giving me what's it called? Suggestion. So now the logic there is that what we want to display the first name and the last name, right? But also, let's add more effects to it. Let's just say display my name is this is what I want to write. Let's just do this. Instead of let's just say my name is first name. Look at what I did there and last name. So what I did there is that this is a string. You can see this is a string here. But inside that string, I was still able to call what's called the argument, my variable inside that string. Let's compare it with this. You will tell me the difference, please. My name. Let me do this. And also let's do this. My name is first name name. Outrightly, you can see that. Okay, let me first comment this. Now look at this. My name is first name, last name, right? Now let's call the function. Let's just say echo display name. So give me your name. First name.
Ademuyiwa.
Ademuyiwa. So let's see. Let's see. Now look at what we are seeing here. What we have here. My name is first name, last name, right? With
Okay.
spelling of
Maybe
that.
probably you haven't echo. Okay.
We'll get there. Come in. Now let's run it again. You can see my name is first name, last name. That's what is displaying, right? Let's just keep that one at the back of our mind. We are going somewhere. I'm coming. Now, let me comment this. Let me uncomment this. So let's run this one. My name is Tosin Ademuyiwa. This one is correct, right?
Yeah.
Hope I'm correct.
Yes.
This one.
Okay, we are going somewhere. I'm coming. So this one also, my name is Tosin Ademuyiwa. Also correct, right?
Yes.
Okay. So now, what happened to this second one? Let me hear our thoughts. So what happened to the second one? What was the difference between the second one and the third one? So why
I
is
think
it
the quotes.
working and the second one is not working?
I think the single quote and the double quotes.
Single
My
quote
own
and
suggestion. My own suggestion, though.
Yeah.
okay, that's your own
Observation.
observation. Okay, thank
Yes.
you. Who else?
I think I support him too. I just because of the single quote.
Okay, thank you. I've not heard from what's her name? I'm coming. Let me look for her. I think she's on the call. I've not heard from Tinola. Yeah.
I'm
Hello.
right. It's quite chaotic here.
You said what?
I'm right here. It's because the children are here, so I do not want to keep switching on my mic.
Okay. So what's the difference between number two, this the second return and the third return? What's the difference? Faith. What's the difference?
What I just noticed is the third return or the second return is the column first, because the second return has a double column. Some like to give the command, and before the command is given, I mean, there's the one at the middle does not have that. I just don't know why.
Okay, so let me explain it. It's very different. It's very obvious. This is a single quote, while these are double quotes. That's number one. So anytime you want to pass in a variable, these are variables. Variables in PHP start with a dollar sign. Apologies. We PHP guys, we like money. So that's why we make use of dollars. So anytime you want to pass in a variable inside a string, right, make use of double quotes. If you make use of a single quote, it will never render it. The compiler won't see it as a variable. It will just display it the way you put it there. I hope you understand me. So if you want to use a single quote and you want to pass a variable, go with option one. Look at option one. My name is, this is the end of the single quote. Then I now concatenate it with the variable. Can you see? Is this clear?
Yes.
Aha.
Yes,
So,
clear.
so that's why number one, option one and option three will work, while option two will never work. Because I'm trying to render a variable inside the string and I'm using a single quote. It will never work. So just read it the same way. It will just read it like that for me. So display name. So we've been able to do this. Give me another example. Let's write function. Another example, Faith. She's not on the call. Okay, who's on the call, please? Give me another example. What we can use to test our knowledge on function. Tosin. I'll call names now. Tosin.
Yeah.
So give me an example of what you think we can write.
How to use countries?
Said what?
How use countries?
Countries. What do you want us to write about country?
Yeah.
Eh?
Hello. Good
Can you
afternoon.
say other countries?
I can't hear you well, Tosin.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. I can hear you now.
I said we can just choose based on the developed and underdeveloped countries.
So you'll be the one to give us developed countries and underdeveloped countries there.
All right.
Okay, let's just put it like this. Function categorize countries. So we want to categorize countries based on developed and underdeveloped, right? Okay. Okay. Now, this is what I will do. Let me first call it categorize countries. So let's put these countries like this: Nigeria, Cameroon, Togo. Give me country now. I'm running out of countries. USA,
Somalia.
Somalia. I think it doesn't make sense. It's an abuse to put USA here. So which country again? Let's put Kenya. I can't spell that one easily. Let's leave that one like that. So now I want to write a functions to categorize countries that we have here. These are limited sets anyway. So maybe they are developed or not. Okay, so let me ask, what was our idea? What was the criteria we are looking for to be able to classify that? Okay, this one is developed. Okay, this one is not developed.
Let's say their GDP grows domestic, their networks, their GDP. This is GDP.
I want to use GDP. Okay, so interesting. I'm coming. Let's list it out first. I'm coming on GDPs. Okay, so what's the GDP of Nigeria then?
I don't know if you get my, but let's take it as
Let's just put random numbers. Let's just put random numbers. Don't let us stress ourselves. Let's just put. I don't know if this is correct. We don't even need to know if this is correct. Let's just put some random numbers. We just want to test our knowledge on something. So one, two, three, one, two, three. Okay. Okay. So now let's look at it this way. This is our function categorized countries. We have a list of countries, and this you can see that inside this function, I use a square bracket in PHP. I don't know, maybe we didn't taught this last week. We have different data types, and one of the data types that we also have, not only in PHP, in not program language, is an array. Array. So before we solve this example, we can't solve this example without the knowledge of an array. Let me give us an example. Odd numbers, right? Is odd, not odd. Odd numbers. In primary school, we have been taught odd numbers. So 1, 3, 5, 6, right? Even numbers. 2, 4, 6, 8. What am I writing here? Sorry, right? So now, sorry, this should be dollar sign. So, both odd numbers here and even numbers here, they are arrays. What is an array? Okay, so let me define. I can't define, but let me just put it in as an example for us to understand it. Arrays are data types that takes in more than one input. They have more than one element. Arrays have more than one element. That's why we call it array. I hope you understand me. It has minimum of more than one element. And to define an array in PHP, we make use of what? Of square brackets. Sometimes also we also have inbuilt function to define an array in PHP, and also this is an array. This is how, you can also use this. Let me call this new odd numbers. So this is also another way to define array. You can make use of the keyword array and use your open and close brackets, or you use this square bracket. Once you use square bracket, anywhere you see square bracket in PHP, just know that anything inside that square bracket is an element of an array. So an array also, now looking at this one now, this is an array because I'm making use of square brackets. Another person can write it like this. We still mean the same thing. So don't get yourself confused. I'm coming. Categorize. Let me just copy it straight. I'm coming. Another person can write it like this. So we still mean the same thing. So please don't get yourself confused. Now, we want to categorize countries now. Now look at this. What this array that you are seeing here that I wrote here is a way of what of type inting. There's something in program that we call type inting. When we say type inting, what we are saying is that anything this function is if anywhere you call this function and you want to pass in a country, that country must be an array. That's what I mean. If you are calling it like this, let's say you call it like this, it won't work. It won't work because I've instructed this function that's what the country's argument that it will be taken should be what should be an array. Anything less than an array, it will return an error. So that's just the meaning.
Sorry, what did you call it again? Type int and what did you call it?
Yeah, type int. Yeah, type int. Okay. So there are some programming languages that whenever you want to declare anything in them as a variable or a function, you must put in the data type of the argument of the variable you are passing. Those type of programming language are called strong typed language. So, but PHP is also a typed language, but it's not strong type, which means that you can write a function without putting in the type of or the data type of the arguments you are passing inside the function. And I think we've done that. This display name, I didn't put in the data type there, right? So, but I can decide to make it strong type, which means I can decide to say that okay, this functions or this argument, this is the data type I'm expecting, and I can also decide to put in the type of response that it should bring out. That it should bring out a string response or an array response. But I don't want to go into that for now. So now I've instructed my countries to be an array. So how do we filter it out now? Since we are working with an array, and one of the things we are trying to do here is that we want to match what's called countries Nigeria with this GDP. So this GDP here, let me define them here. Let me just put it like this. GDPs. Let me define it here also as an array. So let me just put in 2, 1, 3, 3, 2. Right. 2, 1, 3, 4, 3. Let me put as a string. 2, 1, 3, 4, 3, 2, comma 0, 0, 0. That's the first element. The second one is 30,000. Third one is 32, 993, 00. Another one is 5. Another one is 42, 4232. 4232. Okay, so these are the GDPs. I just defined them, so there's no problem about that. So now, this question will require me to use something that we call control structures. So it requires us to use control structure. So in PHP, we have different types of control structure anyway, but in PHP we have one control structure called for each. It's called for each. For each is used when you have when you want to look through an array. For example, let's say you as a parent, you have like 2 kids. You have 2 kids, and you want to give both of them maybe something unique. You understand? So to give them something unique, you must relate to them one by one. Even though you have 2 kids, you can't just give it to them at once. No, you have to relate to them one by one. Okay, let's say you have twins. Okay, Tai, take biscuits. Kehinde, take chin chin. There are 2 different things, and you are relating it to them one by one. You won't just put your chin chin and biscuits together and say, yeah, this one will take it at once. It won't work in this way. I don't know, maybe you understand my explanation. So we make use of for each. We make use of for each loop whenever we are dealing with an array, and we want to deal with each element of the array individually. So use for each loop. So now So let me define it like this. So one of the things I will just do is that so what I'm saying here is that for each country, this country is an array. And you can see that this country is singular, which means I'm dealing with any of the country that is being passed inside this array. Whenever they come in, they get inside this for each group, I'm dealing with them as an individual entity. I don't know, maybe you understand me. So it means that, let's say you call this function categorize categories and you pass in Nigeria, Cameroon, Togo. When they reach this line 41 here, what I'm doing on this inside this line 41 is that what I'm dealing with those countries one by one. I will deal with Nigeria in that line 41. When I'm done with Nigeria, I will deal with Cameroon. I won't deal with Nigeria and Cameroon together. No. Do you understand that explanation?
Yes.
Okay. Let me do something so that we'll get it well. Okay. I want to do something so that we'll get it clear here, so that we understand what I'm saying. I don't want to return. I want to just do. Let me do var dump. Before we solve that problem, let me do var dump. Var dump key, comma. This is comma country. Let me just read that with for now. So okay, I've been able to operate out here. So let me comment this. Okay, I'm coming. Return. Best. Okay. Let me delete all these my names. Well, we can see it very well. Or sorry, let me use echo. Echo key. This is my country. Country. Let me comment this. I'm coming. Let me break it down so that it will be clear for us to read well. Where is it? Okay, I think this is readable now. So you can see the first one. The key is zero. The key is 0. Then this is the test. This is my country, Nigeria, right? The second one, the key is 1. This is my country, Cameroon. The third one, the key is 2. This is my country, Togo. The fourth one, the key is 3. This is my country, Somalia. Why the last one, the key is 4. This is my country, Kenya. So one of the things I just want us to understand here is that in PHP, array starts, the index of an array starts from 0. That's why you can see that the first element here is being regarded as 0. The index in some other languages, in some other programming language, their index might start from 1. But in PHP, an array index starts from 0. I intentionally decided to print that key that you can see. That key that you saw there is the index of the array, while the country you are saying is definitely what we've passed. So let's go back to the code. I hope you understand that before I move forward. Is that one clear? This key. Do we understand it now?
Yes, I understand it.
Okay. Faith. If you have any question, please let me know before we go too far. Do we understand? Mr. Daniel. Tosin, do you understand that?
Yes, I do understand very well.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand. Understand.
Okay, so let me just delete this. I just use this as an example. So now, okay, so for each country as key country, So what do we want to do with Nigeria? So we want to map Nigeria to the first GDP. Okay. So what we just do is that let me define another function here. I'll be another variable here inside the function. Let me call it final results. Let my final results be an array. Let it be an array. So one of the things I will just say is that what's it called? Let me use if as a control. If my country, since I'm typing it directly, if my country is Nigeria, what I want to do is that if my country is Nigeria, I want to I already have GDP. So Nigeria GDP is equals to the GDPs that I have here, GDPs and the key. Or I'm coming. Let me use another method for it. Don't let me use this method. Let me just say, since I'm defining statically, I know that Nigeria is the first country by default based on what I'm passing. So I will just say final results key, the first element. I also assign to the first element. What I also assign to the first element is what's called country is already Nigeria here. I will just get the GDP's key. So let me put this down. I'm coming. So I will say, so what's the benchmark of what was it called? Underdeveloped in terms of GDP. Let's just put the benchmark to be, this is million. Let's just put the benchmark to be 1 million. It's just an example. So if GDP greater than or equals to I'm coming. So I'll still correct something here. I've seen a mistake here, but let's continue. Final key to be what? To be it will be developed. That's what we just want to respond, echo out. Else, if GDP less than, so final results will be underdeveloped. So we don't need this. I've seen an error here. Who can point out the error for me? Let me know if you are following. There's an error here. Who can point it out? Faith. Can anyone point it out for me? Nobody. Okay, no problem. Let's test run it. We'll both see the error ourselves. So what I want to return is I want to return final results. Let me delete this. What was it saying? Array to string conversion. Okay, because my final result is definitely an array, and this echo is just used to print out a string. You can't use it to print out what's it called? An array. Let's use var dump then. Var dump will work. Okay, so let's cross check. Nigeria, our GDP, we said it's more than a million, right? Cameroon, that's 30,000, should be underdeveloped. The third one should be developed, while the others should be underdeveloped. So we're expecting to see 2 developed while having 3 underdeveloped. But what do we have here? Everything is what? They are what? Developed, right? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Everything we have here are developed. So why? That's why I said there's an error there. So why? Why do we have everything as developed? Who can point it out to me? It's very simple.
Hello, I want to try. Okay.
Try.
Okay, numbers should be in normal. It should not be in quotes.
Yeah. Thank you. So the way I define those numbers there, I define them as a string, and definitely defining them as a string, and I'm also using a mathematical operation to determine if it's less than or greater than. It will never work. I hope you understand me. So
Yes.
I want to deal with them as numbers, not as string. Let's now, as we can see now, Nigeria is developed. What's the second country? Cameroon, right? Underdeveloped. The third one developed. While the last 2 they are what? Underdeveloped. I hope we understand that now. Do we understand that?
Yes.
Also, there's a better way to write this part that we have here. The first condition I use if. Why the second condition? Instead of me using else if, I don't need it. I will just write it like this. Else, that is, I'll just say else, do this for me. It will still work, and this is much more efficient than this. I will explain why. I said so. The reason why I said this else is much more efficient in this use case than the else if that I have the other time is because anything that does not fit inside this first condition here, since I only have 2 conditions, right? Anything that does not fit inside this first condition here, by default, I want them to be inside this second condition. That's all. So I don't need to use else if again to finish up my if else command. I hope you understand that. Assuming I have 3 conditions, then I can use if, else, if, and else. But since it's only 2 conditions, and the first condition, I've already satisfied it here. So what I'm just trying to say is that any other thing that does not fit inside this condition of greater than or equals to 1 million, it should just categorize it under this here, what the value is, as long as it doesn't fit into this first query, this first condition. It should what? It should see it. It should just put it here. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay. Before I move further again, let's ask questions, because I know that there might definitely be questions for me to answer. So, who has questions to ask, please? Do you have questions? Ibukun, do you understand all what we've been doing since morning?
Yes. I've been writing them on my side. I'm trying to put it together. Yes.
Okay. What about Angela? Angela, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. I'm just trying to catch up. Like I got in late.
You got what?
I got in late. I got in late. I was
Okay,
stuck in traffic, so I just joined.
okay, no problem. Don't worry. I will share us a post I put up for that for functions. Adeoluwa, do you have any question? Adeoluwa, do you have any question? Adeoluwa is not here. Okay, let me share this link for us. Let's check this chat box. So you can check out functions here. So I decided to put up for us anything we want to know about function in PHP. We can also I already have it there. There are some things that I might have forgot to make mention of in class, but definitely reading it up here, you also understand many more things about functions, how to call functions, how to write functions. Because like I said, whenever you're writing function, definitely there's an intention for you to write it. Function must be a repetitive task that you carry out. You don't just say because you understand function, you start writing function for everything. In some cases, you don't need to write function. If it is not a repetitive task, you don't need to write it as a function. But if it's a repetitive task, find a way to put it into a function. It will help you in the long run. So that by the time you want to make use of that thing again, instead of rewriting the code over and over again, you just call the function. And once you call the function will perform that same task. That's just it. Hope you understand. That's number one. Number two, when you're writing a function, bear in mind, have it at the back of your mind that your function is expected to return something. If your function is not returning anything, then it is not a function. Do I make sense? Do I make sense? Hello?
Yes, sir.
If you write a function, your function must return something. Even if it's one thing, it must return. And also, unlike some programming languages, in PHP, your function only returns one thing. Only one thing. Doesn't return multiple things. You can't have multiple returns here. For example, let's say I have return final results, and I say return. Just look at it and I say return GPPs. No go work. It won't work. You can see it will start highlighting it for you straight. Can you see the error? Unreachable statements. It will what will happen is that your code will stop here. When you call that function, it will stop here. It will stop at the first return. So you can't return, or let's say we have it like this. Let's see. Can you see? That's flagged it for you. Do you understand me? Unreachable what statement. You can't return multiple things in PHP function. In some programming language, for example, I also write Golang. In Golang, your function can return multiple things. Let me give you an example. Let me show you an example of a Golang code so that you understand what I'm saying when I talk about returning multiple statements in functions. I'm coming. Please hold on. Now, let me close this so that you can see it well. Now, this is a function in Golang. This is a function in Golang. And you can see, okay, this one is returning just one. Let me give you an example of the one that returns multiple. Now, look at this one. This is a function. And it's returning multiple things. This first one here, you can see it has comma. This first one here is one element. This error is another thing. That is Golang. But in PHP, when you're talking about PHP, your function only returns one thing. So anything you want to pack, let's say inside your function, you want to show A and B. Another thing that we used to do in order to hack it is that you will return that thing in form of an array. For example, let's say I want to return final results here. I can just return it like this. Final results You can say final results, and I'll now say GDPs. This is another way to have it. PHP will still see it as one. I'm only returning one, but I only return it as an array. Do you understand? Do you understand this one now? I'm returning one thing, but I'm returning it as an array. So anything I want to pass there, I can pass it here like this. But ideally, I can't come here and say return final results, comma, GDPs. It won't work at all. Hope you understand that now.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So let me stop here for today regarding functions. Definitely there are a lot of things to write when it comes to function. Just think of anything that you know that you will definitely need in your code. You need more than once. Write that thing as a function. And there's something that we always talk about in programming. There's a rule of law that we always talk about in programming. It's called DIY. Don't DIY, sorry, dry. Don't repeat yourself. That is, anything that you are writing, don't repeat it. Make it as compact as possible. We make use of reusable code in terms of functions. So don't write a function here. Don't write a statement somewhere and you still go out to another place and be writing the same statement. Doesn't make sense. So that's that. Now, while I was teaching us this function, while I was writing this function, I made use of two types of control structures. Let me quickly talk about that before we move on. So in programming generally, we have something called control structures. What are control structures? Control structures are they're also code anyway. They are code that we use to guide the way the flow of program goes. For example, I will explain to us. We have different types of control structure in PHP. I'll be talking about PHP. We have if statements. We have if statements. We have if else statements. We have if else statements. We have for loop. We have for loop. We have while loop. We have for each loop. We have switch case. I remember this. We have switch case. So all these control structures, I will not be able to teach us today, but definitely we will see as start making use of them in our code base. But I will explain some to us right now. Look at this now. This for each statement is also called for each loop. Why do we call it loop? The reason is simple. The reason why we call it loop is because it's been applied to a range of, I won't call them numbers, but we apply it to a range of conditions, not only one. Unlike this, that I specify directly that if this is greater than or equals to 1,000. In a for each loop, we make use of for each loop when we want to loop through a range of conditions until maybe a condition is being met. That's when we make use of loop generally. And sometimes personally, I prefer making use of for each loop. Some people make use of for loop. But what I want to say is that what you can do with for each loop, you can also do it with for loop. You can also do it with while loop. Any statement that you write inside for each statement, inside for each loop, can be done with for loop, and it can also be done inside while loop. For example, what I have here, let me rewrite it with for loop. So I can just say, I'm coming on. I'm coming. I'm coming. No. Let me use this results. Let me use this GDP. It's just an example anyway. GDPs. It's just an example. Let me echo it like this. This is my index I, and what's it called? And my GDP. For me, let me just comment this out. Let me return let me return and just return test. I'm coming. Let's see what we have here. Now, this is my index 0. My GDP is this. This is my index 1. My GDP is this. Like that. So what I'm just trying to say is that when you're making use of for loop and for each loop, they are similar. They are both loops. And what you have in your for each loop, you can also transform it to your for loop. But one of the things you just need to note about your for loop is that, number one, it has an initial condition. You must set an initial condition when you are using a for loop. And here, I'm setting my initial condition. Here, I'm defining a variable called I, and I'm setting it to 0 as my starting point. Then, this is the condition I'm setting inside this for loop. The condition is that as long as this I that I defined here, that I defined to be 0, as long as this I is less than the count of these GDPs that I have here, as long as the I, which is 0, is less than the count of the GDPs that I have here, what it should be is that everything inside the statement is still true. It will only stop when it is what? It's no longer lesser than the count of this GDP. And for example, now, since I've initiated I to be 0, the first loop, the I is 0, then coming back again, what it will do is that what? It will increment I by 1. And the meaning of this thing is to what? What it's saying is that this variable I here, I'm incrementing it by 1. It's still the same thing as me writing it like this. It's just a short form. It's the same thing as me writing it as this. What we have here is the same thing as this. So what I'm just saying is that I plus 1 is still equals to what? I. And since this variable is the same variable that we have on the left-hand side, since the variable on the right-hand side is the same variable that we have on the left-hand side, that's why we just have to shorten it to this. So plus means that what I'm saying is that I'm incrementing this variable by what? By 1. So what this code will do is that it will keep running until this condition turns to false. As long as this condition is still true, everything you have here will still keep on working. But by the time it increments this I up to the point that the I is now equals to the count of these GDPs, it will stop. It will just come here straight and return this test. So that's that. But don't worry, as we move forward, there will be instances where we'll make use of control structures. So we'll use it to also explain all these control structures better. I hope you understand that.
Yes.
So now let's quickly move because we have limited time. But also one of the things we have agreed, myself and Mr. Adibai, one of the things we have agreed is that at the end of each class, before we finish, before the following week, we'll try as much as possible to also drop learning materials on the group so that we can also use it to catch up and also to understand something. Because the truth is that 2 hours definitely can never be enough. You understand? And there's more to functions than what I've taught us. I only summarized it. I hope you understand. So that's why I'm also trying to come up with articles that we can also read on to understand better. Yeah, Mohammed, you have a question?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe say what's the difference between for loop and for each loop?
The difference between what? For loop and for each loop, right?
Sir.
Okay, the difference is obvious. Let me explain myself again. You can see that in this for loop now, like I said, you must define a starting point for your for loop. But inside your for each loop, I didn't define any starting point. What I just did was that I just do the compiler. I just write it here that okay, for each of these arrays, I'm passing an array here. Then I'm iterating it one by one. And this one is the key. Why this one? Some people can write this one as value, but the reason why I wrote this one as country is so that we can understand what this one is carrying. So this one is what this one is doing is that the value of this one is that it's holding each element of the array you are passing into it one by one. Do you understand me? So, but for this one, for this for loop, it has an initialization phase, which is this place. After that, you can see semicolon. Then this is the condition for it to run. The condition is that what, as far as this value of I is still less than the count of the GTPs, whatsoever we have inside this curly braces here should work. Do you understand me? So the only and the third thing that you have here is what I'm doing here is that what I'm incrementing the count of that I in after the end of each loop. After the end of each loop, I'm incrementing the value of I, which it means that for the first loop here, my I is 0. But for the second loop, my I must have been incremented to what? So 1. For the third loop, my I will be 2. For the fourth loop, my I will be 3. Do you understand? So that is the difference. For each loop, you don't have an initialization stage. We didn't initialize anything here. I didn't write it like this that countries equals to Harry. I didn't do it like this. Hope you understand. Hello, Mohammed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I do.
So that's one of the key differences there. Any other question? Okay, no problem. Let's quickly move. I want to what's good. I want us to go into Laravel. So definitely there are a lot of things that we've not touched, but definitely we'll keep on touching them inside Laravel. Like I said the other time, Laravel is a PHP framework. So let me give us the link so that we can open it on our system. I'm coming. I want to give us one link. Laravel documentation. Come here. Okay, so let me drop us this link. As many of us that are on our system, please let's open up that link. If you are on your system, please open up that link. I'm coming. And for us to run Laravel on our system, we need something called Composer. So we need something called Composer. So I believe you can still see my screen. So what is a Composer? Composer is a dependency manager for PHP. So we need to install this for Windows users and also for Mac users. So let me share. So for how many we have a lot of Windows users here. So let somebody using Windows system share his or her screen. Let's use that one as an example. Let me stop presenting. Anybody here using Windows? We have Tino, we have Aniola, we have Mohammed. Tosin, are you using Windows?
Yes, but I'm connected to my phone.
So who is on his or her system right now that can share his or her screen? Ibukun?
I use Mac.
Okay. Aniola, okay, she's not on our system. Adeoluwa. Adeleke. He's not here, right? Who else again do we have?
I'm on my laptop, but I have Laravel installed on my
Right? That's why I don't want to call you because I know you have it. Faith. Faith. Hello, Faith. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Are you on your system?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Are you on your system?
Yes, I'm on my system, but my network is very bad.
Wonderful. Who else again? Daniel.
Yeah, I'm here.
Share your screen, please.
Hello?
I don't want to call you. I don't want to call you before. Don't worry, Faith. I don't want to call you before, Daniel, but now I don't have any option to call you.
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. I hope you can see it.
Yeah. I can see your screen. Go on Google and type get composer. Get composer or getcomposer.org. Please, Windows users, let's pay attention. Okay, thank you, Faith. Mac users, you can go on Get Composer, or instead of going on Get Composer for Mac user, let me give you a command. Just hold on. For Mac, for Mac users, I'm coming. Mac users, just do this: reinstall Composer, and after that one is done, and check to confirm if Composer is installed. You can use this command. Okay. So, Daniel, yeah, let's go. Go and download Composer and install. It's straightforward. There's no big deal there.
Yeah. Okay.
You can just download that .exe. Don't stress yourself with the command line installation. Yeah, continue. Yeah, next. Leave it by as default. Don't tamper with it. Continue. You don't need that anyway. Yeah, install. Okay, so open your terminal and type in composer version just to confirm if you now have the composer installed. Version composer double hyphen version VEIR command not install. Can you restart your system, please?
And maybe you should make use of a terminal.
Of what?
The normal terminal for Windows.
Which terminal is he using? Mac users, hope we are good anyway. add that composer to your system part, but maybe you know how to do that now. Daniel. Hello, Daniel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
You know how to add it to your system part, right?
Yeah, so I need to add it to my system parts this way, I think.
Just like you did for PHP.
Is this the parts? Or is it
On
again?
your search command, type system parts there.
No, I know, like, is this the parts or?
I'm coming.
Okay, you can
Yeah,
send
it's
it.
the default part. Yeah, the default part. I think that is on C's composer. Yeah, environment.
Is it already?
So restart your system. You should come up.
I just need to restart my system.
Restart your system.
Is it working now? Let me see first. Still not working. So I need to restart my PC.
It's fine.
Okay.
Let's wait for Daniel anyway. But also, please, while we're waiting for Daniel, I hope we've been able to open that link that I shared with us, that laravel.com/docs. So, like I used to tell myself back then while I was learning Laravel, I started learning Laravel in 2017. Yeah, that was when I started learning Laravel. So it got to a point that I found myself reading it every day, and it's almost like a Bible to me back then. You understand? So there are different tutorials that teaches Laravel, and they're all great. I'm not disputing that. They are all wonderful. But to me, the best way to learn is by reading. Anything you need in Laravel, anything you need to understand in Laravel is on this documentation. You just have to search for it. Anything you need to understand in Laravel is on this documentation. Just afterwards, you just have to read. It's very, very important. So please, let's pay attention to the documentation. To the documentation, I have to share it so that we'll know where to go to. So Daniel, we are still waiting for you so that before we start. And this Laravel is very, very powerful in terms of configuration, in terms of the authentication, the database, everything is very, very secure, very fast, and it's very fast. Very fast. So please, we are going to be learning a lot of things, starting from migrations, authentications, MVC, which we definitely need to understand. We'll be teaching them with this Laravel. So please, we should not miss any class at all. It's very, very important. For those of us that were not on our system, how are we going to do it now? Because this one is a practical class now. I will need to show us how to start a Laravel application, but we are not on our system. We also need to do it. So what are we going to do?
For me, my system is on, so I'm following the promise as I said.
Your system is on. So
Yeah,
have you been able to install? You said what?
I'm following the Zoom class on my phone, but my system is on. I'm following everything you say we should do.
So have you been able to install the composer on your system?
No, I'm just restarting the system now.
Okay, you've installed it, but you are restarting your system to confirm, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. I know that Mohammed has it. Jesus. Abib. Sorry. Ewedairu. I think that's better. Ewedairu, are you
Sir.
here?
Yes, I'm with you.
So what's your name? So that I think
My
Ewedairu
name
is
is Habib.
Abib. Okay, Abib. So Abib, how far about you? Have you been able to install what's it called? Composer on
The
your
company.
system?
Yes.
You just installed it now, right?
Oh no, I've installed it for the laptop I'm using. Someone have installed it already, so I'm just making use of it.
Oh, makes sense. Makes
I'm
sense.
back and it's working now.
Please share your screen. Let people see it so that they will know that it's working.
So,
Okay. So if you've successfully installed Composer on your system and you type in Composer version, this is what your output is expected to look like. Please. So let's keep that in mind. Thank you. So you can stop sharing your screen, please. Let me share my screen back. Let me know when you can see my screen. You can see my screen now, right? Okay. So for Windows users, open your terminal just like Daniel, just like what you have here the other time, where you type in Composer version. Type in this, what I just shared on the what's called terminal. And then the example app that I have here, you can name it anything. So that example app is just an example. You can name it anything. Let me share my screen so that you can see. Let me open up my terminal. Can you see my terminal?
Yes.
Okay. So let me go inside my folder. www. Let me create a folder here. I think I even have it. Where is it? I'm coming. I'm trying to look for a folder. Where is it? I'm coming. Yes. Okay, I have it. See what let me copy that command. Where is the command? So Laravel new. Let me just name it something. Laravel new. I'm thinking of a name. Let me just paste Laravel app. No starter kit. I don't want starter kit. Okay. Would you like to initialize it this way too? No. Okay. So, but when you are running this command, please make sure that you have your internet on, because these things they are being done. It's currently downloading it from the internet. So you can't run this command without having internet on your system. So let's give it some few minutes while our default, while our what's called, while we download our Laravel folder structure. So I will explain something for us, and we ask questions, then we call it a day. Which database MySQL. Okay. So that's good. So we are done downloading. You can see that it's very fast. Let me open the main folder. Why is my system hanging? I'm coming, please. Take it. So this is it. The Laravel folder. Yeah. Who asked question? Ibukun, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, when you that Laravel new, do you put composer Laravel new or just Laravel new? And for example,
Okay, so I first ran this command, composer
yes.
global require. After this one, then I now wrote Laravel new, then the name of the folder that I want to create.
Okay. And so I'm getting command not found when I write Laravel new for first.
Laravel space new space the name of the folder. You can share your screen. Faith, I'm coming. Just hold on. You can share your screen. Let's see what you're having.
So I'm kind of losing my.
You're not on your system, right?
Now on my system. Can you see my screen?
It's coming up.
So I'm using my VS Code terminal.
Okay.
Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Yeah, so I ran this one, the global composer global require Laravel installer, and it did all this. So now I'm running the Laravel new, and I don't know, I'm getting this. I don't know, should I use my.
Use your terminal. Use your terminal.
I should use this one. This
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Go on your main terminal. Yeah, so CD into a CD into a directory where you want the folder to be created.
Oh, okay, I see.
Because it's going to create a folder for you.
Okay. Oh, then I now write the command here. Still the same.
I'm coming. Run that composer global require here.
Okay. Yeah, sir, I think it's done.
Okay, so let's do Laravel new.
Wow, surprised.
Command not found Laravel. I'm coming. Just to them. Let me help you look for what. You must be doing something wrong. Wait a bit. Give me that error. I'm coming. You said you have Composer installed, right?
Yes. I just did composer version now. Please, I have the 2 points. It's 2.8.5. Yeah. I just installed it now. Also.
And has that Composer been added to your system part?
Oh, do we need to add it to system part on MacBook also?
Yeah, it's not important anyway. I'm just trying to ask a question. It's not that important.
I didn't do that. I just did when you posted in the chat. I did this.
I'm coming.
This one.
this directory that you want to install your Laravel on, can you just open it for us? Let's see.
Okay. I'm coming.
Let's go there.
So this is the directory. It's like we all these stuffs, all the classes I've just been creating.
There's no problem there, but it should still work. So go outside of this folder. That's PHP bootcamp. Go outside of that folder.
Okay, I'm outside. I'm on the desktop root now.
Yeah, install the Laravel there. Let's see. Laravel new. Still command ZHS. I'm coming, please. Wait, I'm coming. Just hold on. Nice. I'm coming. I'm trying to look for solution for you. On your terminal, type which composer. Which composer?
Which?
Yes.
Which like this?
Yeah. Wait, I'm coming, please.
Can you see what you reply?
Okay, yeah. Just hold on there. I want to do something for you. So, you are using ZSH, right?
Yes.
Come here. Let me type something for you. So let's do this. I'm coming.
Okay.
Check the message chat here.
Okay. Okay. So I do this here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I do this on the root folder?
Enter, press enter. Listen.
Oh, okay.
Just do that. So, okay, so add this, but from that step, from the part that you did the other time, you have it returned the part, right?
Yeah.
So replace with the part that we have there. You know, after you ran which composer, it returned a part for you. So what's the part? Just close this one and go and look for it again. You'll still be able to see it. You can close this one so that you can see it, or you can hear which composer.
So this is the part opt on being.
So opt on being composer. So replace it there.
Okay. Did you paste it in the chat?
Yeah. You see that export part is equals to variable part.
What do I replace now in this one? I'm trying to understand.
So that variable part, you replace it with that being opt. Faith, please, I'm coming.
Okay. So I start from the being like this.
I'm coming. Let me check your screen.
Can you see my screen?
I'm coming to your screen. Just
Okay.
yeah. Go back, please. So where are you? Oh, no. It's inside this file that you opened. Please.
I just want to write it. Yes, I know.
Okay.
I'll just write it out here so I don't make any mistake. What do you like? What am I changing here?
So your opt slash you replace that path variable. So opt slash homebrew bin composer.
So I'm removing it from where? From all this one, right?
Yes.
Like this.
Yes.
And I'm putting this.
You're putting it here.
Okay. So I think, how do I write inside this stuff? Okay, I paste it.
You should be able to write there now.
Yeah, I've written. So this is it. This is it. Like,
let me come back.
I use it.
Okay. So save it.
Control S, I guess.
Yeah.
I said not. Does not save. I don't know. What save? It's in unknown command.
Let me give you. You said what?
When I try to save, it's in unknown command. When I try to save, let me do.
X. Use that X here. The exit. You can see. Yeah.
Okay.
Control X there. So it will now tell you. Do you want to write?
Okay.
Yes. Why?
Okay. Thank you. I've done that.
So I'll drop in another command here to reload your terminal.
So how do I exit here?
Just type Y. Which is yes. You want to save that file.
Yeah, I've saved it, but it's just saying it's saying. I think I should do Control C.
Cancel first. Now do that X again to exit.
Control X.
Now Y.
Did I do Control Y or just Y?
No, just type Y.
Yeah, I've done Y. Yeah.
Enter. Should be able to move us.
Okay.
Okay. So upload another command. What is it saying?
Saying unmatched something unmatched.
There's an error on your line 33 of that file. Open that file again.
How do we know the line is hard? Not to block us. I can continue from looking at this myself. Sorry, I don't block the whole thing.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah,
let me still attend to that before.
Yeah.
Faith, I'm with you. Faith, your hands is up, so I'm with you.
Okay, I wanted to ask if we're supposed to click developer mode, and someone said yes. So because I was not able to see the person that was sharing screen when they were downloading the composer, so I wanted to ask the step what I'm supposed to do.
Developer mode, is that when you were installing or what?
When I'm installing it, I'm installing it now.
Okay.
Yeah, so it said there's like a box to click developer mode. Then I already clicked it and clicked next, and then it's saying it's showing the path that is going to be installed in composer.
Yeah, did you
Then I'm
change the part?
clicking next. Sorry?
Did you change that part? Or just let it
No,
like
I
that?
did not.
Okay, it's fine. There's no problem.
Okay, and then after that it's showing a PHP path, and then I clicked next. And
Okay.
then it's asking for a proxy server to connect to the internet.
Just leave that one. It's an optional settings.
Okay, so I should just install it now.
Yeah, just install it. Daniel, Alpha, have you been able to install Laravel?
No, I'm not. I was waiting for, just in case maybe people want to.
Share your screen. Let's see other people. Let's see from your own screen. I've been able to install mine. Share your screen. Okay, so copy the first command here. So open your terminal, navigate to where you want to install it. Where you want to
Okay,
install
so
it.
it must be like in a folder, right?
Yeah, you will just navigate to a directory where you want to install the folder. Hope you understand.
Oh,
No, no, no.
oh, sorry.
You don't need to make a folder. I said navigate to the directory. Let's say
Okay,
you want to put it inside your C drive, navigate to that part.
okay. How would I go back, sir? Okay, I wanted to just like install in my desktop before so that everybody
No
can be.
problem. You can navigate to your desktop also. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm in my desktop now.
So run that composer global. Anything you see global there, it means that it's not just only for that directory. It's
Okay,
globally.
it's general, yeah,
So
yeah.
anywhere you are, it's still global. So run that one first.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's done.
So now, Laravel new, Laravel space new space the name of the folder that you want to create.
Okay.
Laravel
Yeah.
new.
Okay.
Your Laravel is not correct. So the spelling. There's no. Yeah. Just copy what I have here. Laravel new. Look at the Laravel spelling that you have.
Oh, sorry. Laravel, the name of the folder I want to use, right?
You want to create. Yeah. You want to create. Yeah.
So enter,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So which testing framework do you prefer? Just pick anyone.
Yes, it's interesting.
So by next week, we'll dive deep into the basis of Laravel. So what I just want us to do before we finish, which we're almost done, is at least to get us to understand how to install Laravel on our system. Yeah, Faith, I'm listening. Faith, you can talk.
Okay, I wanted to say that I've already installed the composer and restarted my computer. So I wanted to ask, is there like what we're supposed to follow next?
So for you to confirm that you have Composer installed on your laptop after you've restarted, open your terminal and type composer or space double hyphen version just to check the composer version. So you should be able to see something. So if you see that it brings out something meaningful, it means that you have composer installed on your system. Do you understand me?
Yes, I was able to see something.
Makes sense. So the next thing is that we want to install Laravel, like we want to install a Laravel folder on our system just to play around with. So like I said, navigate to a directory where you want to install the file. Some of us we want to install it on our desktop. Some people they have a special folder. Just go on your terminal, navigate to that folder. Then the first command is to run is this global composer. You have it here. Let me pin it. Uh, I've pinned it. Check it. So global composer require Laravel installer. After you finish running that one, then run the second one, the Laravel new. That example app is a name. You can give it any name you want. Can be Laravel new anything. That name that you any name you want to give the folder, because what Laravel will do is that it's going to install a full folder on your system, and make sure you have your internet on when running those commands, because it's downloading those folders for you from the internet. So you need your internet on. So any name you want to name the folder, give it to it on that example app. Hope you understand me. Hello, Faith. Can Faith hear me? Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I can hear you.
We could not hear you for some time.
Yeah. Okay. I've pinned those commands on this chat box. Check those commands. So the first
Okay.
command is the composer global require. After that, then you run the Laravel new. That example app is a name. You can give it any name you want. It's not a must to give it example app. So the name you give it there is the name of the folder that is going to generate for you. Have that at the back of your mind. Uh-huh. And make sure that you have internet connected to your system when you are running those commands. It's very important. Hope that's fine.
Yes. Will you send it to the chat, the commands?
Okay. Let me just put it on the
Thank
paper.
you.
Wait, sorry, is it network or this is supposed to happen there? I think
No,
it
it's still
has been
coming up
stopped.
now.
Okay.
No, maybe it's your network because it's not that slow. It's not slow on my own end when I did mine.
I don't know why it's stuck there.
Shouldn't stop there. There are still some few things left to go.
Okay.
Yeah, you're almost
I didn't.
there. So you can pick MySQL.
Well,
MySQL.
I'm going to type it or select it. Which one?
Select it. No, you're not typing. That should be one, right?
MySQL one.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did he say? Error value. No. Uh,
Use your up and down arrow key. Can't you use
I'm
that one?
using it. Oh, no, I'm using
And
it.
it's
It's
not
not
working. Type MySQL. Type MySQL there.
working. Okay. So, would you like to run a deep
Do you like? No, no, no. Just type no. Yeah.
composer? Yeah, I think it's done.
Okay, makes sense. So locate this folder on your system and open it with your VS Code. Locate the folder on your system, open it with your VS Code. Let's see what we have. We're
Okay,
almost rounding up.
the Laravel testing, right?
Yeah, that you created.
Okay.
It's on your desktop now.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is the folder.
Now you can see. So this is the default Laravel folder. Next week we'll talk about each of the folder. You understand? We just do a brief talk about each of the folder and the things that we are going to be focusing on, at least for this period of what's it called, for these 8 weeks. You understand? So, and definitely we can still do more on our own servers. This is how a basic Laravel folder looks like. So Laravel is a framework. All the basic things that we need to start writing with PHP, they have been done for us by default by Laravel. So all what we just need to do is to build on top of it. That's why it's called a framework. We are not starting from the scratch as if we are using pure PHP. No, this is a framework, so it makes our work easier. It makes our development faster. Yeah, they've done a lot of configurations for us to have this thing. Hope you understand. So next week, by God's grace, we'll come back again. We'll start with Laravel fully. I hope we all understand. Is that fine?
Yes.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much, everyone. Do we have any question before we call it a day? Any question? Okay, no problem. Let's enjoy. Okay, Abib.
Yeah, the question, thank you for today's class. So the question I want to ask is that as he has entered in that folder and he
Okay.
opened it, you said we are going to build upon that folder that he has opened.
Yeah.
So assuming there's another work on ground too that you want to do, does he has to follow those process of installation? Like,
Yeah. Okay, I understand. Definitely, if you have any other project to do, definitely create another new Laravel application for it. You understand? So each one a Laravel application for one project. Do you understand me? Do you understand me now?
okay, yes, I understand. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question? Okay, no problem. Let's enjoy our week. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you.